Welcome to this online worship service of the Unitarian Universalist congregation at Shelter Rock. I'm the Reverend Dr. Natalie Fenimore, and I minister to this congregation with the Reverend Jennifer Brower, the Reverend Jay Brooks, and our student minister, Aaliyah Shenborough. As we continue to be physically distant to protect public health and to care for one another, we also continue to create loving religious community to encourage spiritual growth and to build a more just and joyful world. We seek here to restore the balance of our spirits, to celebrate the joys of life, and to find the strength to meet our sorrows. You may be new to Unitarian Universalism. Ours is a faith tradition which embraces the wisdom of all faiths and values diversity. We believe in using science, reason, imagination, awe, and wonder to explore life's meaning and mystery. We believe that we can come together to build the beloved community. Please visit our website to learn more about Unitarian Universalism and the Unitarian Universalist congregation at Shelter Rock. At noon each Sunday, you are invited to our virtual coffee house to meet new friends and to see the faces of the friends which you are missing. This worship service recognizes the 1-year anniversary of the closing of Shelter Rock due to the coronavirus. We do not celebrate this terrible pandemic year, but we do recognize all the many losses the pain of our separation from one another has brought. There have been victims of COVID-19 here in our congregation, in our families, and in the community which surrounds us. And in our nation, over 500,000 people have died. We carry great grief and deep trauma. And also, we have a greater awareness of our strength, of our resilience, of our creativity. We carry great beauty and love here in this community. Let us worship together.
We bid you welcome, who come with weary spirit seeking rest, who come with troubles that are too much with you, who come hurt and afraid. We bid you welcome, who come with hope in your heart, who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous. We bid you welcome, who are seekers of a new faith, who come to probe and explore, who come to learn. We bid you welcome. You enter this hall as a homecoming, who have found here room for your spirit, who finds in this people a family. Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey, we bid you welcome.
Please join in our words of affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need. This do we affirm and covenant with each other.
So share with you the words of Mary Oliver in her poem, Heavy. That time I thought I could not go any closer to grief without dying. I went closer, and I did not die. Surely God had his hand in this, as well as friends. Still, I was bent, and my laughter, as the poet said, was nowhere to be found. Then said my friend Daniel, brave even among lions, it's not the weight you carry, but how you carry it. Books, bricks, grief, it's all in the way you embrace it, balance it, carry it when you could not, would not, cannot put it down. So I went practicing. Have you noticed? Have you heard the laughter that comes now and again out of my startled mouth? How I linger to admire the things of this world that are kind and maybe also troubled. Roses in the wind, the sea geese on steep waves, a love to which there is no reply.
One Saturday last April, I walked into Mercy Hospital ready to be the chaplain on call for that day. Most of the 13 nursing stations had patients who were confirmed to have COVID-19. We decided at that time that it was best for us to call the family members of those patients. There were so many of them struggling alone at home. Each conversation had a different story. One elderly woman said, "I had to bring my husband to the emergency room and leave him at the door. I've never been without him at a time like this. I didn't want to leave him alone. We've never gone this long without talking to each other." Another started to cry when she heard who I was. so grateful to have someone to talk to and to pray with. One man was angry, waiting for a definitive answer as to whether his wife had the virus. He and his family were hunkered down in their small apartment until they knew the risk of spreading it. The uncertainty was getting unbearable. Each person needed someone who could listen to their frustrations and fears without judgment, without platitudes, even without words. Whether through tears, reassurance from others, or prayer, their resilience came to the fore. They found some strength, however small, to know they could get through these challenging days and maybe weeks ahead. Earlier that day, I was paged by the physical therapy department and asked if I could visit with the staff and say a prayer before they ventured out to the floors to see the patients. Those prayers were for me as well. All the prayers and comfort that we chaplains gave were for ourselves, hoping we too would have the perseverance to get through this nightmare. So far, we have. This is a reading I want to share with you from Reverend Angela Herrera. This is a prayer for a fresh, unremarkable morning, a prayer to bring us to attention before the steadiness of the world. Sunrises and sunsets, back and forth like the rocking of your grandmother's chair, like coming and going, rising and falling, droning and beating like ancient music. And you, remarkable for your ordinariness within it, and your thinking about it, and your yearning for meaning. You, dependent, spin into the interdependent web confined to a body. You, independent, conscious, free, and so sometimes also lonely, but unconfined in spirit. This is a prayer for you, for your well-being, your peace, your deep peace, and for everyone you love, and for their well-being, and for the friends we haven't yet met, and for the strangers we'll never meet, though we are closer to them than we think. All of us, in the arms of the earth, our mother, and her rocking and singing.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
In Unitarian Universalism, there's a close connection between faith, what we feel or believe, and works, what we do. Our principles call us to action. We may have different theologies, but our shared values unite us as one faith. That word faith is more than belief alone. It's a deep spiritual call to action. Each week since the pandemic began, we've been inviting contributions to a special collection that benefits a group doing good works. For the last 2 weeks and during the rest of the month of March, our beneficiary is Island Harvest, which has food pantries across Long Island. The pandemic has gone on so long, and the need is greater than ever. This invitation is for those who have the resources to respond to that deep spiritual call within and give to help Island Harvest feed the hungry. There are 3 ways to contribute: by sending a text, by using the donate link on our website, be sure to choose Special Collection, or to use PayPal.
In this difficult and troubling time, many have stepped up to serve as first responders and emergency workers. They continue to risk their health and their lives to care for the needs of others. They are heroes we must remember. Teachers, grocery workers, delivery people, doctors, nurses, so many, like UUCSR's own Sky Smith, who is a rescue paramedic.
Invocation by Angela Herrera. Don't leave your broken heart at the door. Bring it to the altar of life. Don't leave your anger behind. It has high standards, and the world needs your vision. Bring them with you, and your joy and your passion. Bring your loving and your courage and your conviction. Bring your need for healing and your power to heal. There is work to do, and you have all that you need to do it right here, in this room.
Here, in this time and space, we offer a moment of reflection, a time to reflect on all that this year has brought: grief and pain and loneliness, and a renewed understanding of our longing for one another.
There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. Sometimes I feel discouraged and think my work's in vain, but then the Holy Spirit revives my soul again. There is a mount which I need to cannot break and hold. There is a tower of Jesus, unsaved, sick soul. and sold and bought again. The dove is never free. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. I can't run no more with that lawless crowd, while the killers in high places say their prayers out loud. But they've summoned up a thundercloud, and they're gonna hear from me. You can add up the parts, you won't have the sum. You can strike up the march, there is no drum. Every heart to love will come, but like a refugee. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. That's how the light gets in. That's how the light gets Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. A precious deed that grace appeared, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace hath brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been met 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've glorious days to sing God's praise. Than when we first begun.
Well, we're kind of limited to our movements anyway. We have trouble ambulating. And see, we're kind of settled in and aware and accepting of where we are at the present with our ages and our calendars. So we're not going anywhere anyway. So we're very adjusted to our time of life. But the fear comes from how it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So we have to avoid pain as much as possible, try to be as comfortable as possible, and sit back a bit. Sit back a bit. Maybe go through your life memories, the bittersweet ones, the wonderful, funny ones, and even the ones that were pretty sad, losing all people around us, but remembering what they did for us. I learned that we can be in contact because we've been given Zoom, and I'm very, very grateful to that. So we have connections with the outside world, and so much that we could share, learn from each other, and support each other by being there. I found my whole relationship with the Unitarian Universalist was started with an epiphany that my life was all special and that I had a lot of places to go because of the opening to all the things that UU gives us. And so I'm so grateful for the inspiration and the support.
Our children, youth, and families, like those all over the world during this pandemic year, have had to suffer isolation and anxiety. Schools have closed. Many parents are juggling working from home while managing their families. Our children and youth miss their friends. There's been loneliness and depression. But our religious education classes, like most gatherings, have moved to Zoom, and we have reached out to one another. And we've continued as many activities as possible with masking and distance. We know that there is suffering, but there is also learning and growing, developing resilience, patience, compassion, care, renewed sense of love and community. This is still a community, a place of loving and connection, full of care, full of love. Laughter and fun are still part of who we are.
I'm Farah Chandu. I'm a music teacher and a singer, and I'm the director of Willow and a member of our own UU choir. A year has passed since singing together became one of the most dangerous activities we could possibly take part in. Suddenly, a huge part of our lives was altered. How to adjust to the sadness and loss of this shift? This was the way I interacted with the world. I missed my own students, my own singers as a conductor, and I missed our church community as a choir member. Zoom helped, but certainly has limitations. Only one person can speak or sing at a time, so no singing together. But if you go old school, like using a landline with an actual wire that goes into the actual wall, you can still rehearse at least 2-part harmonies. With my smaller choir, during warm weather at least, we could meet in small groups, masked, well-spaced, and outdoors to try to keep safe while singing. Stephen and the larger choir have used technology to patch us together into virtual choirs. All of this will get us through. It is more important than anything to not lose our identity as music makers and as a community. In the words of Reverend Dawn Shea Cooley, let us go out into the world singing. Songs that proclaim liberty, songs that turn ashes into garlands, songs that bind up the afflicted and those who mourn, songs that, like oaks, have roots that go deep and stand strong. Let us go out into the world singing.
This has been a year of challenge and loss. I suppose it's not possible to say the words pandemic year without implying sickness, disruption, and grief. Yet it's also been a year of courage and determination, a year in which we recognize that some workers have risked their lives day in and day out to do the essential work that has kept us going. For all of us, it has been a year of upheaval, of change, of new learning. For our beloved community, it has been a year of perseverance and resilience. We have seen this congregation give generously in many ways to help others, and while remaining physically distant, we've held each other close. To the members of this congregation, I must say, you are fabulous. You are amazing. For a year, you have continued to build community, and you've made new friends, despite the pandemic, despite the online nature of our gatherings. Over the next few months, we will be navigating the next stage of this pandemic, the part where we cautiously and in a limited way begin to gather in person. We will wear masks and have restrictions on numbers. It won't be like it was, and it won't be easy. But we will have the confidence of knowing that if we've managed to come this far, then we can go the distance. We can do what we need to do. We are a resilient, loving religious community. And as we have begun, we will continue. We will support one another, even as we reach out to be of service in our local community and the wider world. That's our commitment. That's our covenant. Now we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into all the world.